I want to talk to you tonight about something that you all know the hopelessness of. How about conflict? Yeah, it's something we all have experience with, and I have a confession. I hate it. I don't like conflict at church. I don't like conflict at home. I don't like conflict at work. I don't like conflict. I really don't. I'm one of those people who like the texts that say, "Blessed are the peacemakers," because I would much rather go into that peaceful place than into that head-to-head confrontation conflict place. But conflict is a very normal part of life. And learning how to deal with it instead of avoid it is something that all of us have to learn how to do, because it's a part of normal relationships and getting along with people. Whether we like it or not, we have to face conflict. But honey, I think we should just put her in timeout. We shouldn't spank her. Spanking will hurt her. Did you just bring me those flowers because you're really sorry? Or do you just want to go fishing tomorrow? Yeah, I know you said that you wanted my opinion, but what you really wanted was your opinion coming out of my mouth. What did you just call me, young man? Don't you ever say that to me again. I know you're upset about the cell phone bill, honey, but we can get through this. We can talk it out. It's going to be okay. We've been through worse things than this. Yeah, conflict. We all have it, different places, different kinds. But conflict is part of all of our lives. And it's a very, very powerful way to destroy our hope. Because you know, when you are in conflict with somebody, you're not feeling very positive or very hopeful. Let's look at a couple of things that might help us. First off, a conflict is more than just a disagreement. It's a situation where both parties feel threatened. When parents are arguing about child guidance, it's not just a matter of theory. A lot of times someone is feeling threatened that he or she is not a good parent, and so the defenses go right up. And conflicts continue to fester when they are ignored, because conflicts are perceived as threats to our well-being. Then we have to face them and resolve them and not just walk away from them. Now, the flowers, not such a bad idea, but flowers without communication is going to get you nowhere. You have to have the real communication, because ignoring the problem will not make it go away, contrary to popular belief. We respond to conflicts based on our perceptions of the situation, very individualized. Not necessarily an objective review of the facts. We all have our opinions, and we all like to state them. If you don't want to know somebody's opinion, don't ask. Conflicts trigger strong emotions, and sometimes those emotions are hard for us to monitor or to manage. We get involved in the situation and we say things that we shouldn't say. There's no erasing. There's no rewinding. If you get into a conflict and you know that your emotions are out of control, the best thing to do is to say, can we continue this discussion later and come back to it when you are feeling more in control of your emotions? Conflicts really, though we hate them, are an opportunity to grow. They really do help our relationships grow. And I think one of the advantages of being older is being able to look in the rearview mirror and see all the problems the Lord has helped you work through. There really is an opportunity to look into other people's needs, try to understand what is threatening them, and go from there. So it's not all such a negative thing. The Bible gives us some pretty good advice on how to put hope back into our conflict. First off, ask God to show you what is really going on. You know what? You don't know what's really going on in a conflict. You know what you see, but it may not be accurate. And you probably don't have a very good idea what the other person sees. The Bible says, nevertheless, I am continually with you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, and afterward you will receive me to glory. Hold on to that counsel. Let him guide you. Secondly, grab a mirror and take responsibility for your part. You know how when we're in conflict, we get a little defensive, right? And we want to be about blame. I mean, clearly, I'm not at fault. Well, we need to look in the mirror and be a little bit more realistic about that. Jesus said, why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but you don't notice the log that is in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when there's a log in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the log out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's eye. Thirdly, don't major in minors, or pick your battles. You know, everything doesn't have to be an issue. Everything in life does not have to be an argument. There are some times you just need to let it go. Wisest man that ever lived said, good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. Not bad counsel. Fourthly, go directly to the source of the problem. If you are mad at your wife, don't go to your coworker or your son or your daughter or whoever. If you're mad at your wife, go to your wife and talk with her and work it out. Again, Jesus said, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he listens to you, you have gained a brother. But if he does not listen, then take one or two others along with you, that every charge may be established by the evidence of 2 or 3 witnesses. If he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. But if you've got a problem, you need to settle it like this: eye to eye, nose to nose, and work it through. And fifth, be proactive. If you know that you are in conflict with someone, don't wait for that person to come to you. If it's eating at you and you are uncomfortable and you know it's not right, take the initiative. Again, Jesus said, so if you are offering your gift at the altar and there remember that your brother has something against you. Notice it doesn't say you have something against your brother. That's a very different viewpoint. If your brother has something against you, leave your gift there before the altar and go. First, be reconciled with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. The Bible calls it reconciliation. In the Greek, it means to change thoroughly, that it's over, that what's done is done. When you are reconciled, the conflict is behind you. And you and your wife or your husband or your brother or your coworker can have hope again.